What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm gonna be showing you how to do a 428 head on an SRT4 motor. I know a lot of people, or a few people, have been asking about the video. So finally I have all the parts to put my car back together. So I think it's the perfect time to do this and show you guys how to do it. So let me show you what's going on here. Last time we went to the track, my tuner Paul listened to the motor, and I think he's playing it on another video, but he thought that the valves were floating or whatever. So I sent the head to the machine shop, Long's Machine Shop, you know, one of my sponsors now, and they got it all done. Look at that, looking good. So they checked it for me. The pressure on the spring was just a little under, but all the valve guides were bad. Some of the valves were bent, all this crazy shit. And I think it happens when we over rev the engine on the dyno. So we never checked it. I just fixed the transmission, put it back on the dyno, went to the track, but we never actually put attention to the compression of the motor or whatever. So we went to the event and all that. So I've been waiting on parts for a while. Finally, I got my turbo back from Turbo Bay. They rebuilt it, made it a little bit better. I also got my new intake manifold, which I don't have right here with me because Irwin Elite Performance is doing the powder cover now. So I got that from MMA Fab, I think, Mike. I got that one too. Fucking sick, man. It's really, really sick. Once I pick it up, I'll put it on the video so you can check it out. And also have my old manifold repaired by him, and it's for sale. Somebody wants to let me know. So I'm gonna show you guys, like I say, how to do the 428 head. It's not complicated at all. But when I was doing it a few years back, I have so little information, and a lot of people, I don't know, they don't have the time to tell you how to do it, or they don't want to tell you how to do it. So I have help for a few people, and then everything else is just, you know, I start trying to figure it out on my own. So hopefully this video will help you on how to do it easier. Now you do gonna have to make a custom intake manifold and a custom exhaust manifold. But if you're already thinking about doing this 428 head, you're already thinking about doing a, you know, custom exhaust manifold and all that. So either way, you're gonna pay. So either you pay to put one on the back or you pay to put one on the front, and you know, you can make it happen. Now, you can contact, and I don't know how this to do it, but you can contact Donnie, Tuner Geeks, and he can probably make you one. He's the one to make mine. I think he's the only one that has made for this type of head, but you never know. He can probably make you one the same way, maybe tweak a little stuff here and there to make it better than mine, which mine is awesome. I have no problem with it. But you know, these guys are always improving, always doing better. You know, just like Mike told me, like, man, you buy this manifold like fucking 7-8 years ago. Now I'm like 10 times better than I was 7 years ago. So you know, everybody gets better with time. So, or they can just make it the same way. So if you're looking for an exhaust manifold, you can talk to him, or any fabricator will make you one. I bought the kit from Tuner Geeks, and I pretty much told him what I wanted. He sent me the intercooler, the piping. He did some my cash can, the exhaust manifold, which is somewhere in the car. Oh, it's right in the car. Yeah, my exhaust manifold, wastegate dump tube, downpipes, all that. Yeah, that's my exhaust manifold, and it came out badass. I have no problem, no cracks, no nothing. It's badass. So you can give him a call. So now let's get into this head. I'm gonna show you what's the difference between the 428 head and the SRT4 head. I got my head here on the table, and I got Tony's head next to each other. So let's see. This is Tony's badass CNC porn polish head. So if you look at the head, you know, once you look at it, it's almost identical. You know, the difference is, you know, that's your intake side. This is my exhaust side, so it's the other way. Now the only big difference between the two heads is this return oil hole. So this is the SRT. This is the 428 head. So of course, if you want to put your head gasket, you know, on this one like that, you have a gap right here and oil can start leaking through. So it's a return hole. It's got no oil pressure. It's just returning the oil back into the engine, and it's on the front of the engine right here. So when I search of how to do it, a lot of people, what they were doing is when they were building the motor, they were using JB weld. They were welding the return hose on the block. They were welding it shut, and then they would just use a drill and match it to the head. So like that, you know, everything is kind of like the 428 block. The way I did it more like on the ghetto cheap side, because I didn't want to take the motor. My motor's already built with an SRT4 head, so I didn't want to take it off and all that. So what I did is I used a Cometic head gasket for an SRT4. With the gasket like that, with the hole and everything, I put them on the head. All I did was put some silicone on this thing. You know, I just pretty much put some silicone around here and on the bottom, just so the oil will not drip down and it will go down into the hole right there. This is your return, you know, compared to this one. It's a big difference. So if you don't put silicone, or if you don't do the JB weld or welding the block and then drilling it, it's a big chance you're gonna see a lot of oil dripping from here. You can kind of see some of the silicone right here. So I'm trying to make it a lot easier for the people that want to do this. I call Cometic head gaskets, I don't know, 2 years ago when I was doing this. I explained to them what I was doing, and they kind of didn't understand what I was doing. So they're like, nah, we cannot make you a gasket like that. It's kind of weird or whatever. So I'm like, fuck. You can also use the 428 gasket, but then you're gonna have a hole on your block because the gasket is not gonna have all this. It's just gonna have a little hole right here, and it's gonna be kind of flat. So then you're gonna have a hole, and then you can get all this dirt going in or whatever. So this time I talked to Cometic, and they made me a gasket. I told them, look, man, I'm running a SRT4 block with the 428 head. The return hole that, you know, I explained everything to them. We went back and forth with some pictures. I point out the picture, the return that I wanted. And I told them it has to be an SRT4 head gasket, but the hole or the return has to be the 428. And they're like, got you. So it took a while, but like I said, the car was down, so I didn't really care. And also, you know, you can expect that for custom shit. So, man, I thought I fucking opened this thing up. Let me see if I can open it. Hold up. Here's the head gasket. It looks just like an SRT, but check it out. That's what they did for me. Instead of having this, it's got this. So now, when you put it on your head, it's gonna match. Right there, right? And this is closed. So now, all I have to do is just put a little bit of silicone here, on the bottom, on top, and it will be closed. You don't have to do no welding, none of that shit. You know what? I'm pretty sure you can put it on without putting any silicone and it will work. I just want to make sure that it doesn't throw anything out. Like I said, you said return. So this is pretty fucking cool because, you know, Cometic went out of their way to do it, make it easier for me. Hopefully the guys that are doing this can relate to this if they don't have the motor. If they already have the motor built and they want to do this, they can be like, shit, I can just call Cometic, fucking order the gasket, and we're good to go. This is the part number. I'm going to post it here. I'm going to hold it for a little bit. But that's the part number right there. Now, this is the description. This is what I ordered. It's a 88 millimeter board, and it's a 40 or 0.40 inches thick. And see how it says 428 oil return. They told me to have that on the system. So if you call them and you ask them like, hey, I want the head gasket, this part number, it has to be custom made. So if you want it thicker or thinner or whatever you want to do, you can tell them. but at least they know that the oil return hose has to be for 428, and you don't have to worry about shit. Now, that's for the head gasket. Another thing that I have problems with, and some other people told me that they don't have this problem. I don't know if it's just me or what, but the spark plugs for the 428, they're really short compared to the SRT. So when I put mine on, my compression is 9.0 to 1 on a long rod setup. So, you know, pistons are made for the long rod setup, so it's 9 to 1 or 9.0 to 1. When I did this swap, we'll put it on the dyno, and on high RPMs, this thing will lose signal or act funny or start missing, yada, yada, yada. So we find out that the spark plug, I was using the SRT4 spark plugs on this, because I was like, oh, it's the same head. It looks the same. But I guess the spark plugs was sticking out too much that was actually touching the piston. So I got really lucky that it was just kind of like saying hi to the fucking spark plug, because if not, I would have destroyed the motor. It's been a while, but I don't know if there's any marks on the pistons anymore. But yeah, my friend Chad pulled one of the spark plugs out, put a fucking flashlight to it, and he's like, hey man, we hitting the fucking spark plugs. So we went from like a, I don't know, 20 gap on the spark plug to like a 16. So it didn't destroy the spark plug, you just kind of touch it and close it. So then I went and started searching the spark plugs for the 428 head, and I noticed they were really, really short. And I'm like, holy shit. So I got lucky. If I would have been running like a 10.0 compression, I mean, as soon as I crank it over, it will fucking destroy the motor or the rods or the bearings or whatever. So be careful with that. Like I say, I talk to other people and they're like, nah, man, I'm using the fucking spark plugs from the SRT. No problem. I don't know. It might be just my motor. You saw my pistons. They're flat. They don't have the little, like a high compression piston. They're flat. So be careful with that when you're doing that. Also, the 428 head has a EGR port on the side right here. And it's got a hole right in the middle. I mean, right on the side right here. I don't know, you can see right here. So you can find this plate on eBay, and it comes with a gasket. The gasket ain't worth the shit. So you have to either put some RTB on it or make your own gasket or whatever just to plug it up, because you're not gonna use it. So that's for the head, spark plugs, and head gasket. So we got that figured out. Cams. This is when it gets tricky also, because when I got this head, it came with some cams. I don't know the specs in the cams. Somebody like scratched it up, the numbers. I guess they didn't want to tell anybody. You have two options. Either you buy a cam custom for this head and it'll be ready to go. You just put it on time and you're good to go. Or you can use your SRT4 cams, but you have to take it to a machine shop, to a machinist, somebody that know what they're doing, and you're gonna have to move your dowel pin for your cam gears on the right position. Now, I do not have, you know what, I think I have the cams for the 428. So let me explain to you, and then I get them and I show you. When you're doing an SRT4 head, the lobes on the cams, they're facing in when they're atop the center. On the 428 head, they're facing out, you know, because the exhaust cam is in the front now and they're on the rear. You can get the stock cams out of the head that you're gonna be using and get your, I don't know, stage 3, stage 4 cams for the SRT, take it to a machine shop, take it to a professional, I don't know, take it to somebody and tell them, okay, I need you to measure the cam on both sides, and I need you to repin this cam, which will be the SRT, to fit on the 428. Now, when you do that, you also gotta mess with the magnet on the back of the block. So you're gonna have to, the back, but a magnet, I'm talking about this magnet. That one right here. So, you know, the SRT4 cams, see the lobes like that? The 428 are like this. So at that point, you're moving this, which is what's gonna tell the computer what cylinder to fire first and all that stuff. So the car is not gonna run. So it's always good to check on the SRT4 what stopped at center and kind of mark it on your magnet. And then the magnet on the back has two little, like a little clips or whatever that goes into the cam. Well, you can cut those off, and then you can rotate the magnet and just put it at the top, the center on the 420A. If it's too complicated, then you just order the cams from Crowers, not BC, but Crowers, and they have a few options. But you need to make sure that you don't buy the, I bought some that were wrong. They were like the biggest one you can get for 420A, and they're like a stage 1 from BC for the SRT, so I lost a lot of power. But that's because the motor is an NA motor. So if you buy in the NA motor, it's gonna be NA cam. So you have to call them and be like, hey, look, man, I have an SRT with a 420A head, and I'm doing this, I need cams, and they have a few options for that. So that's the easiest way, because when you do it that way, the magnet comes already set for the right position or the right timing. So literally, or you just put the cams. You can probably even use the stock cam gears. Put the fucking stock cam gears on it, you're good to go. Just put everything on time and you're good to go. Or you can also do a degree on the cams to find out what's true top and center. But that's a lot more time, a lot more tools, and a lot more complicated than just, putting them on. They still recommend to do a cam degree on all the high horsepower motors, or on any cams that you put in. They recommend to do a cam degree so you can get the most out of the cam. You can do it this way. You will still gonna make a lot of power. When you do the degree, you squeeze another, I don't know, 80, 150 horsepower. I don't know. I haven't done that before and after. You got options. Like I say, Crowder is still making cams. They're still making custom cams. They cost you about $650, I think, because they're custom, and they take about a month and a half to get done. And you can even make your own specs, and you can tell me, I need this specs, and it's for a 420A motor, and they will make it for you. So that's that. That's pretty much it for the custom shit. Of course, now you throttle bodies on the back. You have to extend some wires. You can get a intake manifold made for a stock throttle body if you want to, but there's so many options out there for better throttle bodies and bigger or whatever. And all you have to do is pretty much rewire the DPS and rewire the IAC if it comes with an IAC. Most of the big throttle bodies, they just have a TPS, and then you have a screw set for the idle. And that's what I have. You can do all that. Of course, you're gonna have to either modify your throttle cable or buy a throttle cable kit, and you make your own throttle body cable. It's a lot of custom work because, of course, your pipes coming from the front here. I'm running a small radiator. Also, my whole front end is tubular front end, so I got way more space to work on. So it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, pretty much that's it. That's it for the conversion. So I'm gonna start working on it. I'm gonna start putting the head on, turbo manifold, and then I'm waiting on, like I say, the intake manifold to get done from powder coating, put it on, and then turn it on. So let me get started on installing the head. So real quick, let me show you what I was talking about the cams. This are 428 cams, right? So I got this little center tool, whatever that everybody uses for timing, right? So look at the lobes on the exhaust cam and the intake cam. You see how they're facing out, and your pins, they're up. Well, one up and one down. This one is not, but one up and one down. Kind of most of the aftermarket companies for the cams do that. So this is for the 428, and then of course you got your magnet somewhere here in the back. One hole. It's kind of like this way, right? So this is a 428 head. A 428 cams, right? So let me get some SRT cams and show you. See, this will be the intake, and this will be the exhaust. So we'll put this thing on like that. Look at the difference. See the lobes? See how they're facing this way on both sides? And look at your dowel pins. That's the difference. Now I have a magnet on this side, so I can't really see which direction it goes, but I can guarantee you that if you move this way to do it as a 428 head, that's gonna be different. So that's the cams if you wanna repin it.
This is for them boys down in Texas that be handling their biz. Get it how you live, shout it, you know what it is. Boys down in Texas do it big. Boys down in Texas do it big. This is for them boys down in Texas that be handling their biz. Get it how you live, shout it, you know what it is. Boys down in Texas do it big. Boys down in Texas do it big.
This is for the boys down in Texas that be handling their biz. Get it how you live, shout it, you know what it is. Boys down in Texas do it big. Boys down in Texas do it big.
This is for them boys down in Texas that be handling their biz. Get it how you live, shout it, you know what it is. Boys down in Texas do it big. Boys down in Texas do it big.
I'm almost done with the swap. This video is gonna be a little too long because I'm, giving you all the information about how to do the 428 head and stuff. Let me show you where we at right now. Check it out. Exhaust manifolds in, new throttle body, new intake manifold. Man, that thing is sick. Haltech coil packs, that's also new. I still need to set up the catch can, and I need a coupler for the throttle body because the pipe is a little smaller than the throttle body. So I'm just gonna do a 3.5 to 3. Sauce to the side already. So yeah, it's almost done. It's almost done. I need to make the cable, the throttle cable. I need to get one of those screw ends right here, so I can hook it up into the throttle body, and that's it. Cam sensor is on. I need to connect the blow valve is on. I need to connect the regulator, the vacuum line for the regulator, right there on the back. I got the injectors in. I just need to get my fuel pressure regulator, and we should be almost good to go. One more thing on the 428 head swap. So if you want to use the SRT4 back cover, you're gonna have to plug one of the bolts or holes, one of the hole bolts, and then you're gonna have to drill and tap on the 428 head because this head doesn't have the outside one, I believe so. So I don't know if you can see it. Let me get a flashlight real quick. See that plug right there? So you're gonna have to plug that one. You're gonna use that one, the rest on the back, and then this one, I believe the 428 head don't have it. So you're gonna have to drill and tap, and then you can use the SRT4 back cover, or you can use the 428 head back cover if you want to. But I think the SRT4 looks a lot better. So yeah, because I'm also doing this reluctor wheel on the rear for a rear speed sensor. So I got it all set up. My friend Cody Jelsma, I think that's what you say, gave me that one. Irwin Elite Performance and Jason Elite Performance got the valve cover done. They welded that little thing on. They powder coat this plate also for the coil packs. You can see the intake manifold, all powder coated. My friend Jeremy Turner is the one that made that plate for me. He's like, dude, let me make you a badass plate for your coil pack. So, man, came out good. I like how it looks. Looks pretty sick. So also on the 428 head, don't be scared when you put the valve cover and the hose doesn't line up. Let me see if I can put one of the spark plug wires so you can see what I'm talking about. That's just because the head and the valve cover are a little bit different. but it's not gonna affect anything. You can still take the spark plugs out. It's a little bit harder because sometimes the socket gets stuck, but that's good. I've been running like that for a while. So you see that? How it's a little bit off center. And I don't know, you can see it. There you go. See how the hole's up center? That's fine. You can still use it. Like I said, it's fine. You can just put it on. Yeah, guys. I think that's gonna be it for today. It is, I think, like 3 in the morning. 3:04 a.m. So I think I'm done for today. I just want to give a shout out to Elite Performance, Jason, Earwing, to get this shit done. I really appreciate that. Every time I go in, they're like, hey, can you get it done? And they get it done the same day. Long's Machine Shop for the sponsorship. And the head getting it done. Mike from AMM Fab, that one to make the intake manifold. Kinetic Creation for the harness on the coil packs. And a few pigtails that he hooked me up with. So I can do my connections over on the TPS. My friend Jeremy for the plate. Paul for the tune. So, yeah, man, I appreciate, doing this shit right away and getting it done. Check it out. Everything is all put together. Turbo, wastegate, exhaust, the manifold, injectors, and all that. So, yeah, that's it. It's running. I'm waiting for the coupler. And then I put my cash can. And then I need to change this line because with the 4-inch exhaust is hidden somewhere around here. It's melting the line, and this is my cooling line from the reservoir. I mean, from the cooling, I guess, swirl tank or whatever. Goes all the way down to my reservoir. So I'm gonna change that one, then put it on, and that's it. Already did the speed sensor on the rear with the new plate, and put the new throttle body. Made my own throttle body cable. Well, actually, it's the OEM throttle body cable, and I just modified at the end. I cut it, put a little fitting on it, and then that thing, which I might change later for something better. But for now, it works pretty good. Yeah, that's it. Everything is there. Everything's good. Yeah, let's see if we can turn it on real quick. Oh, I need to open the kill switch first. Right here. All right. Let's see. There you go. Let's see. This X98 is really hard to get it going if you're not giving it gas. So let me see if I can jump in, give it some gas, and then it should run. All right. Let's see. there it is, running, good to go. So hopefully we'll be at the track here pretty soon. So if you have any questions of the how to do it, or you didn't understand something that I say, or I forgot something, just let me know in the comments and I will reply to you. And please like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, like I say, if you have any questions, let me know, and I can answer you all the questions on the video. So yeah, guys, I hope you like the video, and I hope this helped a lot of people out there that want to do this swap. Just remember, intake manifold and exhaust manifold have to be custom, but if you're already going for a lot of power, you still gonna do custom manifolds anyways. So it's you can't do it that way and save the money or whatever. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Peace.